Hey everybody, Sheriff Matt Aller here in Audrain County, Missouri, and figured I'd give you another review on some gun stuff. I've got a few in the stable, and figured it'd be a good idea to try to go through some. The other one got pretty good reception, so today we're going to talk about a near constant companion to me, and we're going to talk about the Model 92 lever action rifle. Aaron Sutton over at the Warrenton PD, I field trained him years ago. We used to argue about whether it was lever or lever. I think I said lever and he said lever. Anyway, just an interesting side note. So this is the Model 92 lever action rifle. It was designed in 1892 by John Browning. I said in my last episode that that would be a name that you hear quite a bit because probably one of the most prolific gun designers on the planet. Never been one since that was that kind of good. But so I own 3 of these rifles, and the past several years, I don't even leave the house without one. Now, I live in rural Missouri. A lot of ruralness going on where I'm at, so I very seldom ever leave the house without a rifle. If I take my trash to the dumpster, this is the rifle that I grab for a few different reasons, and we'll talk about that here shortly. But so the Model 92 rifle was designed, obviously, in 1892 by John Browning. Winchester. John Browning designed the Model 1873. The gun that won the West, the 1886, which was a bigger version of this, the 1894 Winchester, he designed that. But in the 1890s, it was pretty popular to have your rifle and your handgun chambered in the same caliber. The 1873 was chambered in handgun calibers, 4440, 3855, things like that. In 1892, Winchester said, hey, we want a small, lightweight, easy to handle, easy to swing rifle chambered in handgun calibers. They asked him if he could do it in 90 days. Browning said, I'll get it to you in 30 or it's free. And in 2 weeks, he designed the 1892 rifle. So the 1892 is just really a scaled down version of the 1886. The 1886 was chambered in big calibers like 45-70 government. Really big action, long action. But the 1892 is pretty much a scaled down version of this. So I own 3 of these. This will tell you how much I think of this rifle. I own this 16-inch with the standard loop. I own a 16-inch with the large loop, and I own a 20-inch standard loop. So the first one that I bought, and I talked before about local business, right? So the first one I bought at Citizens Armory in Mexico, Missouri. A business that's local to me. They have an indoor range. Fabulous people own it, Darren and Tammy Raleigh. If you ever get through Mexico, Missouri, stop in at Citizens Armory. They've usually got 40, 50 guns on the shelf. The first one I bought was a long time ago. Tell you a story about that rifle. Long time ago, I bought that rifle as something fun to mess around with. And because it would shoot 38 and 357, I had a 357 Magnum revolver and several 38 special revolvers. And I thought, yeah, how neat would that be? So I bought it. My now chief deputy, his oldest son was maybe 10 or 12 at the time and was ready to start deer hunting. So I loaned him that rifle. He shot his first deer with it and was so excited that I just couldn't take the rifle away. So the deal we made was, you take that rifle home, and when you outgrow it, get it back to me. Well, since then, my chief deputy has had, I think, 5 more kids, and the youngest one is now months old, right? So kind of a late in lifer, but I came to grips years ago after he started having more kids that I'd probably never see that rifle again, because once his oldest outgrew it, and already within the last couple of years, the two younger kids have shot deer with that rifle. So I kind of gave up on that rifle ever coming home. So several years ago, I was at Powderhorn in Columbia, and they had one of these on the shelf, and much to my wife's unhappiness, I bought it on the spot, because for a while these things were rare as hen's teeth. You just couldn't find them. And it was a 20-inch rifle. I carried it almost every day out of the house. If I went to the dumpster, if I went to work, whatever, if I went to dinner with my wife, I threw it in the truck seat. And now it's over the top of my desk at the sheriff's office, because, well, like I said before, everybody needs an office gun. I put it over my desk when I found this one, another 16-inch with a standard loop, at Citizens Armory in Mexico. Not too long ago, I was in there. I go in there about once a week, just to see what's new and what's kicking, and there it was, hanging on the rack, and I bought it immediately, because I missed my 16-inch. 20-inch rifle is a great rifle, but a 16-inch is so much easier to get in and out of a vehicle with, so much easier to handle. It swings quicker. A lot of cool stuff about the 16-inch. Here's what I'll tell you about these rifles. They're all Rossi. They're made by, and some guys are going to burn me to the ground. They're Rossi rifles made by Taurus in Brazil, and a lot of people don't like Taurus firearms. I don't own any Taurus firearms other than these rifles. The reason I like them is because they're about as true a copy of the Model 1892 Winchester as you can get. Winchester doesn't make the 1892 anymore. They did for a little while, but it was way out of reach price-wise for a dumb public servant, and just couldn't afford to buy one. So all three of my guns are chambered in 357 Magnum. Rossi chambers these guns in 357 Magnum, which will also shoot 38 Special, 44 Magnum, 454 Casull, and 45 Colt. I enjoy 357, and I'll tell you why. 357 Magnum was originally designed as a handgun caliber back in the 1930s. During the Prohibition times and the gangster shootouts and all that stuff, most cops were carrying 32s or 38s, and they found that the 32 and 38 did not do real well against car bodies and old body armor that these gangsters were resurrecting from World War I. So they asked Smith & Wesson to go to the drawing board and come up with a more powerful handgun round. They came up with the 357 Magnum. The standard loading for that was a 158 grain bullet out of a 6-inch gun, probably running 1,300 feet a second, which for that era, that was hot. So the large frame 357 Magnum revolver was developed. The big end frame was the first one, and actually back then they didn't even have frame designations. They just had one frame for that gun, and it was called the registered Magnum. So anyway, the 357 Magnum out of a handgun is very potent. It's absolutely a man-stopping, fight-stopping round. But now when you start pushing that bullet down a 16 or 20-inch barrel, that 158 grain bullet leaves out of here running out of this 16-inch gun, probably 1,800 feet a second. Out of a 20-inch gun, it probably gets closer to 2,000. So 158 grain bullet running 2,000 feet a second, you're almost, not quite, but almost up there with a 30-30. You're a 30-30, the standard loading's like 150 grains, and it's running, I don't know, 2,700. So, I mean, you're really in rifle territory with the straight-walled pistol cartridge of the 357 Magnum out of a rifle-length barrel. 357 Magnum round. I should have brought a 30-30 round down for you to look at, but 30-30 round is much bigger. The great thing about a rifle that's chambered in a pistol caliber is that you typically don't get the recoil that you get from a rifle. So for recoil sensitive people, pretty good option. You also don't get the muzzle blast. If you've ever shot a 357 Magnum revolver at night, there is a considerable muzzle blast that comes with that. I mean, you'll shoot a ring of fire in front of your face this big. These, all the powder gets burned up in the barrel. So by the time the bullet leaves, there's really not a lot of unburnt powder left to make some kind of blast. So, and they're not super noisy. They're not like rifle kind of noisy. So they're actually pretty gosh dang good, especially in the 357 Magnum. The 44 Magnum is good as well, but the 357 Magnum really shines out of a rifle length barrel out to about 100 yards. Once you get past 100 yards, probably need a for real rifle, but for out to 100 to 150 yards, the 357 Magnum out of a rifle, it's hard to beat. So the 1892, you can see that it's a lever action rifle, and right there, there's two locking lugs that lock that bolt when the lever's all the way up. Considered stronger than the 1894 action, which has a single lock that comes up on the back. So if you guys that are familiar with 1894 Winchester rifles in 30-30, when you drop the lever, like it looks like all the guts are coming out of it. Well, that's because that lock on the back has to come down. Uses King's patent loading gate here on the side to load the rounds. The downside, there's a downside to these rifles is, number one, the loading gate is kind of small. So for somebody like me with big thumbs, it kind of hurts, but I'll show you something here in a little bit. These particular rifles, fit and finish for a foreign gun is actually pretty good. The bluing is nice. I do enjoy bluing. The bluing on these guns is very nice. The wood, it's some sort of hardwood. I don't know what it is. Some sort of Brazilian mystery wood or something. You know, it'll dent. There's some dents. I don't know if you can see those dents right there where I've bounced it off the truck seat and stuff. So it's not as hard and durable as walnut, but it's not soft like pine. It's very strange. I don't know what it is. But the finish is pretty nice. Bluing's nice. Sights are buckhorn in the rear and brass bead in the front, which I don't know if you can see the brass bead from there, but easy to pick up. I don't care for the buckhorn sights. They're very deep. You can see how deep that notch is. There are ways around it, but I've never messed with it because I shoot it okay. I own lots of lever action rifles. I own some Marlins, I own Winchesters, I own these, and quite honestly, this has the smoothest action out of the box of any of the lever action rifles that I've purchased in my entire life. They're just very smooth for a foreign made, middle of the road, price wise gun. Hard to beat. I like these guns because, like the Marlins, you Marlin fans out there, you know where the lever attaches. There's that ear that's up here where the lever has a screw going through it. I don't like it. It just makes it hard to carry. This gun, it just fits my hand very well to carry it out of the house, throw it in the truck, grab it out of the truck. Whatever I'm doing, this gun just carries so good. This thing's got a lot of dings and dents on it, as does my 20-inch, because they spent a lot of time in and out of the house, in and out of the truck. If you go to my Facebook page, you got to go way back, probably a year ago. The 20-inch gun, I was walking trash to the dumpster one morning, and off in the field were two coyotes. I nailed the first one. The second one was in the next zip code before I could put a bead on him. But I lasered that at 293 yards. I think 293 or 297. I don't remember which, but proves that it's better to be lucky than be good, because I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that again if I tried, but these guns have been utterly reliable for me, all three of them. The first 16-inch that I bought with the large loop runs 38 special like nobody's business. The 20-inch, I actually got it to run 38 special wad cutters, which if you know what those are, they're really, there's no bullet. I mean, the bullet's down inside the shell casing, so it was running the shell casing just fine. This gun runs 38 and 357 just fine. I know there are people that complain about the spotty function and reliability of these things. I own 3 of them and have never had an issue. If I could find one, I may buy another. We'll see. Because all the kids need one, right? Got 4 kids. Every one of them should have one. The only thing I do not care for is these guns come from the factory with a lawyer switch on top. They have a, they have a safety. I'm trying to rest the gun on the tailgate of my Gator. They have a safety here that's just got an ear on it. You flip it around back and forth. All 3 of my guns, I've eliminated that. You lawyers out there, sue me. The half cock, so these guns, that's all the way down. That's half cock. That's full cock. Half cock is the original safety that John Browning designed. If you leave the hammer all the way down on the firing pin and you drop the gun or you hit it, it'll go off. The half cock keeps that from happening. That's really the only safety you need on one of these guns is half cock. This other goofy thing on the top that blocks the firing pin, I eliminated it. There is no more safety on any of these guns that I have. The only safety is keep your booger hook off the bang switch until it's time to pull the trigger, or keep it in half cock. That being said, there's not a lot about these guns I don't like. They have the metal butt plate that's traditional on most older lever action rifles. Probably kind of true to the 1892. The sights, the brass bead front, pretty easy to pick up. I would have no problem hitting a deer-sized target at 100 or a man-sized target at 50, given the gun that it is. I think it's as solid as they come. So if you'll bear with me here, I've got a target that I've set up here on the farm. It's lasered at 50 yards. And we'll put a few rounds through this rifle. I'll show you how I load it to keep me from busting my thumbs up. Because again, that loading gate is a little small, because 357 is not an overly huge round. And we'll put some rounds down range. I'll have to rearrange the camera so you can kind of see what's going on. But anyway, the 1892 Rossi, which is the copy of the Winchester 1892, and it seems to be fairly true to the copy, or to the original. So bear with me here a second. Let me see if I can get this phone arranged in such a fashion that y'all can see what goes on. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't have a tripod or anything. I'm kind of doing this stuff kind of just ad-libbing it as I go along. So, I mean, I don't really have a way to set my phone up. I guess I'll put it on the bed of the UTV and hope I don't shoot a big hole through it. See if I can get it to sit here without falling off when I start shooting. Let's see. Start strapping an old clevis in. See if we can make that work. Don't look horribly bad, I don't think. Ah, yeah, that'll work. So you can see the gun's empty. I'm going to put my ears on. Sorry, the sun's right behind me, isn't it? That's terrible. Should have picked a different time of day. Unfortunately, I have to work and stuff. But so I usually take a round, put it in the gate, kind of leave it hanging like that, and then I'll take the next round and push that in, so I'm not getting my thumb. So my thumb isn't trying to run its way into that gate every single time I do it. This gun is an 8-round gun, 8 rounds of 357 in the 16-inch gun, and I think it's maybe 10 for the 20-inch gun. 8 rounds of 357 is pretty good. Right now we're using Federal 158 grain American Eagle soft points, which is typically what I run in the gun no matter what I'm doing. And the phone fell. I figured that would happen. You know, I really need to figure out how to edit videos so I can edit some of this stuff out of here, because it's gonna look pretty dumb. But that's okay. I'm just a dumb, simple-minded Midwest sheriff. Who cares? Let's see how that works. Still there? All right. So, down range there, we've got a target at 50 yards. I think I put 6 or 7 in here. So, let's see how this shakes out. That short stroke. All right. So let's walk down and see what happened. There's a target down there. You can probably see it. I was shooting at the top paper plate. Fairly rapid. I didn't have my reading glasses on, so I couldn't see the front sight super well. I mean, I could see it well enough to kind of tell where we're at. I don't remember how many shots I fired. Six maybe? I can see 4 or 5 on the target. Some of them are a little to the left. All of them are a little to the left, but for a 50-yard lever gun, yeah, 6. I got 2 of them. I don't know what happened there. I shut my video off for some reason, but I got 2 of them off to the left right there, and you can see the other 4 on the target, which, you know, if you draw a circle around that, you're probably 7 or 8 inches. For resting on the bed of a UTV. You'll see I got my snow plow on my UTV too, because, well, it's winter time in Missouri, and today it's 50. Tomorrow there may be a foot of snow. So, I mean, 10 inches, semi-offhand, rapid fire at 50 yards. Plenty good enough for a deer. Plenty good enough for a man. And the ballistics would be fine at 50 yards, even out to 100. I think my chief deputy's kids have shot deer out 75, 80 yards with that other 16-inch gun. So, that's my review of the Rossi R92, which is a Winchester Model 92 copy. Solid gun. There's not a lot about it I don't like, other than the stupid lawyer switch that comes from the factory. Loading gate is a little sharp. You know, this loading gate here, the edges are not beveled. They're kind of sharp. Or on like a high-dollar Winchester, or even a Marlin or an older Winchester, that loading, the cut where that loading gate is would be kind of beveled, where it wouldn't rough your fingers up so bad. But, you know, for what it is, price point. The first one I bought years ago, I think I gave $375 for, brand new. The 20-inch that I bought a couple of years ago, I think they were up to $600. And this one, which I bought not too long ago, more like $700. So they're not cheap, but they're not crazy expensive. You know, again, I have some Marlins. I have a Winchester 94. We'll probably get around to them someday. But, you know, that gun is a constant companion. The 20-inch gun was before that. This, the other 16 before that. You can run through my Facebook page, see me and my wife out cruising around on the UTV here, and in the gun rack up there, there's typically a lever action rifle, whether it's 22 or whether it's this. I'm kind of a lever gun fan because they're pretty reliable, and they're fun to shoot. But anyway, that's my review of the Rossi R92 Winchester 92 copy in 357 Magnum. Again, recoil's not terrible. You'll probably see that in the video. Muzzle blast is not terrible. You guys had a front row seat to the muzzle blast. And that was with fairly heavy 357 Magnum rounds. You throw some 38s in it, and a kid could easily shoot it and probably take a deer out to 40, 50 yards with a 38. And ammo's easy to find. You can find 357 Magnum 38 special ammo about anywhere. So anyway, I can't think of anything else. Gonna sign off and wish you all a good day. Take care.